Hello, Aquarius. Welcome to your weekly reading for September 15th to the 22nd. This is for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. We're going to jump right in. I'm going to talk real fast. This is a week, and yes, we're doing this at night. It's really, really late. I have one of these really bright lights. It does look interesting. So here's the thing, Aquarius. You were coming after that lunar eclipse in Pisces, okay? It was really emotional. It was very emotional for you. A lot that had to do with your self-worth, self-value. You probably were questioning a lot of things. Listen, these eclipses are not like one-time deals, right? You're going to be feeling the impact of it. But remember, they're pushing you in the direction you need to go. You need to work with these eclipses, okay? Because look, the new moon solar eclipse and Virgo happening this weekend. So it's eclipse season. You're feeling winds of change, all right? You're really, really, really going to feel it this week as well because two things. One, great things have happened, should have happened over the weekend here, 13th, 14th, even on the 12th, Mercury and the Sun sextile Jupiter, really amazing, all right? So that could have brought in some really great news or work projects, assignments, things that have to do with your day-to-day activities, health matters. That's all your sixth house activity, but also could have brought in some news with income as well, because Jupiter natively rules your second house of salary, money, finances, and those aspects are spilling over to the first few days of this week. You see what's happening here. Now, one thing I am going to say is that the new moon in Virgo, the eclipse, solar eclipse, is happening on Sunday. We'll talk about next week because it's such a big thing, right? That's more just for your visual reference. There's a lot happening here. So much that not everything's on the whiteboard, okay? It's a loaded week. There's a huge concentration of activity and aspects compressed between Wednesday to the eclipse. It's a big blob of astrology. And I'm going to walk you through it, okay? But just know that this is going to be a week of reality checks, okay? And you're really going to feel it. Now, Monday is going to be September 15th. That's when Venus sextile Mars. So that's great for you, right? That's amazing. That's Venus and Leo, Mars and Libra. Fire and air just do really well together. And so do Venus and Mars, right? There's chemistry. There's it's the two cosmic lovebirds. Now, you being an air sign, this is great for you. Venus and Leo, a seventh house, partnerships, relationships, marriage, love. It's Venus. Yeah, and Venus is money too, okay? So there could be something here with contracts. Sextiling Mars in Libra, very interesting because remember, Mars in Libra, that rules your ninth house. And the ninth house also has to do with the courts and law and legal matters. So some of y'all could be getting married, right? Like marriage certificates. You do you. This is amazing. I love it. Mars happens to be in Venus's home. Venus rules Libra. So this is, and he's on his best behavior. Mars is, good in Libra. On his best behavior. Keep it light. But it is very social and there's presence here and it is romantic and it's really great for collaborations as well. Business partners, creative projects, and compromise. It is Libra. So just remember, if Venus is what your heart desires, love, money, beauty, all of that, Mars is how you get it because Mars is action and drive and ambition and libido. So go get what you deserve. There's contracts waiting for you. There's so much waiting for you. Ninth house is also spirituality, so there could be something very enlightening here for you. There could be something here with book publishing and broadcasting. There could be something here with education, travel. I wouldn't be surprised if you're going on a trip, like a lover's trip, all right? Now, here's the thing. Well, Tuesday, by the way, the moon, which rules Cancer, will conjunct Jupiter, that's exalted, and Cancer. So we'll talk about that in the second spread. Another great day. Wednesday, September 17th. This is when things get a little bit. All right, Aquarius, Team Aquarius. Mercury will be opposite Saturn. And so, was that dramatic? I looked up. Anyway, so Mercury's going to be opposite Saturn. The next day, Mercury's going to be opposite Neptune. But remember, Saturn and Neptune's a package deal right now. Yes, Saturn may have moved back into Pisces. Neptune is in Aries, but they're still conjunct. Remember, Neptune's at 0 degrees. Saturn's at 29 degrees. They're right on top of each other. So Here is the thing. Mercury is communication, it's thinking, it's ideas, it's conversations, it's, logic. And Mercury is exalted in Virgo. So that's really great. That is your eighth house. And so that's really deep. And you have been going through, let's say, just like psychological circumstances. Eighth house is really deep. Okay. Money matters, investments, saving for your future money. Okay. We're talking about investments here as well as partnerships, yeah, deepening partnerships, and it's all about your transformation. So you could have had a lot on your mind in terms of that with Mercury and Virgo. Okay, so you know how Saturn is your traditional ruler, therefore you're really going to feel this opposition. Saturn has woken up on the other side of the solar system, and he's put on his aviators. He's grumpy. And this is one of those aspects where Saturn is like, is it Gandalf? He's like, he's got that stick. You shall not pass. That's Saturn right now. Okay. So Saturn is being the authority. There is something here to be said about money because Saturn retrograded back into Pisces earlier this month. And you've been dealing with Saturn for 2 years in your second house of money and finances and salary and income. Remember what I just said. Mercury in Virgo is in your eighth house of wealth building and investments. So you got the two money houses activated here. There may be a gridlock. Saturn is an authority, boss, a father figure. Keep that in mind. There just may be some, we got to be creative here. All right. And I want you to think about March 2023 to this point forward. What were the big lessons for you in terms of money, finances, income, making money, in terms of also like your self-worth, right? Self-value, material possessions, because Saturn has been testing you. That's what Saturn does. He's life lessons. And today he will give you a pop quiz. All right. And these are strong oppositions. You're going to feel it days before, days after. You have to remember, I said Mars is in Libra. You got to throw that in the mix. There really can be something here with legal matters. There could be something here with like arguments, not seeing eye to eye, with partners, with lovers, with bosses, with colleagues, there's a lot. There's a lot. And second marriage too for a lot of y'all. Okay. Now, Mercury. And so, yeah, remember, it's eclipse season too. A lot happening. All right. Mercury will be opposite Neptune. That Neptune is retrograde. Remember, I've talked about this. It can bring confusion, deception, deceit, misinformation. There's a big difference between miscommunication and misinformation. Yeah. So just be mindful of this because Mercury is a planet of communication. Opposite Neptune in your third, that rules communication. So I want you to be very mindful this week, especially when we get to Wednesday to the end of the week. Like I said, it's crunch time. If anything, treat this day, Wednesday, like casual Friday. Try not to have big, major conversations. Do not pull your boss to the side and say, I demand a raise for $5 million. You don't want to do that this day. Maybe the, beginning of the week, maybe the end of the week. Maybe this day, it's casual Friday. Yeah, we want to just have water cooler chats. The good news is Mercury is exalted in Virgo, so he is strong here. So you still can. You can, you do you. Very strategic, very analytical, but also very psychological in your eighth house. All right. So just again, be very mindful this day with communication, whether in person, whether online, whether you're buying groceries at Gristedes. Like the cashier could be having a day too. This is for everybody, but in different areas of their life. Remember, everything's energy, including words. And you can use this, like I always say, with any aspects to your advantage. Okay. So Neptune is creativity. Neptune is imagination. So it's a great time to be creative, to use those higher expressions. Okay. Spend time at a museum with the arts. That's Neptune. Music. Neptune rules music. Okay. Hemisync. I talk about that. Yeah. Filmography, photography. That's visual, right? That's Neptune. Visualize all that high frequency energy. All right. If you do have to have a meeting with your boss or your banker or whoever it is, yeah, your partner, your lover, do it at a museum. Do it at a rock show. Do it where everyone can be inspired. That's what's going to help. Okay, that's what's going to make the difference. Now, on the same day, Mars and Libra will be opposite Chiron, who is in Aries as well. Eris, Mars' sister, the goddess warrior, is on top of Chiron. Remember, they're conjunct. So you have this sibling rivalry with Mars and Eris on old wounds. That's in your third. So, third house isn't just communication, by the way. It is like launching things. Like there may be something that goes a little bit sideways with with everything else happening. There's a tangle of big aspects that, again, I will walk you through. It could even be like maybe something with an LLC, or maybe there's something here with siblings, maybe or a family, short distance travel. Just be mindful, and we will talk about this more in the second spread. Now, where we talk about planetoids and asteroids and all the other half. Okay, this is just planets, the other half. Now, Thursday, September 18th, Mercury does move into Libra. This is gonna be exciting for Mars because Mars now has company, and so this is great because you have a little bit more energy here in Libra. And that is again your ninth house, very spiritual. There's something here asking you to see things in a different way, to expand your mind, but also this is your belief system, this is inner wisdom, this is your philosophies, okay? It is education as well. So you do have the two houses of education, whether that's taking online courses, going back to school, or you being a teacher, right? You imparting your wisdom could be a big theme, all right, around this time. It is also, Libra is diplomacy and partnerships and marriage and love as well. So again, that's at the forefront for y'all. And it's a lot of like makeup energy. Yeah. So you probably have had experiences through eclipse season. And if you are a subscriber, you know that I am an Aquarius. I'm a fellow Aquarius. I've talked about it in, my live streams, well, on Great Awakener. Some of the experiences that I've been having for some time that have to do with what's happening here. So just remember, this is part of your growth. There are some things that you have to learn. And the reason I say that is because all the outer planets, remember, they're retrograde. They're at a standstill. They're saying you have to reassess. You still have to reassess some things. You have to go within. And so this week you could feel that it's like a slow drip of you moving forward. You're still moving forward, but the outer planets are making it, you've got to learn some stuff because the South Node is still in Virgo, where we're approaching the new moon solar eclipse in Virgo, and we're in Virgo season. So here's the thing. From this point forward, Wednesday to the end of the week, it's crunch time. All right. You are going to feel winds of change. And the reason I say that is because every single planet, the sun, the moon, Venus, Mercury, Mars, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, Pluto, all the planets in our solar system, excluding Jupiter, he's doing his own thing, all of them except for Jupiter, they are going to be between 28 to the 0 degrees. And this is a big pileup. There's gravitas here. Those are the critical degrees. Okay. So it is, in a sense, a reset, and it's a lot of strong energy. And there is a sense of like culmination. There's a sense of like graduation. There's a sense of like, you've got to learn something here before you move on. All right. So what's happening here is all the outer planets, like I said, are at a standstill. They're not letting the inner planets do their work for you. And it's happening right at the time of the eclipse, not just the eclipse, of the equinox, of Mars moving into Scorpio, of Libra season. There's so much happening next week. And I did say in your monthly forecast, the planets have come out to play hard this month. All right? It is, this week's the schoolyard. They all have rubber baseball bats. Here's the bigger thing. All right? The prison portal is still happening. Uranus trine Pluto in your sign is still happening. Pluto, out of bounds, is still out of bounds, meaning he's a little wild. No one's watching him. Pluto gets to do his thing. And Pluto can be a little destructive. Pluto's in your sign. And Pluto's all about transformation. And Pluto's all about power. So, what's happening here? Breakthrough. That's Pluto as well. So just be mindful. This is a week where there can be a tangle of aspects, and there could be some circumstantial things that are happening in your life where you just want to break through. But the outer planets are just still like, you got to learn some things. And you're just like, no, let me through. There may be a little bit of that this week. I'm just letting you know. All right. And again, your traditional ruler Saturn back in Pisces wants you to learn something about money, self-value, all of that. Okay. And even food. Now, the other thing is that, eighth house activity. The eighth house is transformation. The eighth house is death and rebirth, right? And I talked about that. In your monthly forecast, a new moon solar eclipse in Virgo will be in your eighth house of death and rebirth. Everything happening this week is saying you can't have that rebirth part until you have that death part. There's some things you have to leave in the past. But this is a week again. You got to make up with some people. You got to see eye to eye. And you got to play by Saturn's rules. All right. And you are going to feel a little bit of a squeeze, but you're going to have your breakthrough, even if that means you have to break things down to have your breakthrough. Okay. And it's just going to be a week of change. You're going to see it. And everyone's experiencing this, but in different areas of their life. And you're seeing change play out in the world too. It's eclipse season, right? So that's the other thing. Just you be your authentic self. You're going to be fine. You're going to be great. Always vibrate at that high frequency. Okay. And yes, that's the other thing. I get a lot of questions. Great Awakener, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. If you have joined, really appreciate it. I forgot to say that the founding member sale is still going on. All right. It's in the description box where it's through eclipse season. So to the end of the month. We have a lot of fun. I just brought on Alex Janelli. So all live streams, she's a hypnotherapist. You get free hypnotherapy sessions. And Christian doing astrology courses. All of it's included in your price. I quit my job for it. So really excited to see you there. But the reason I'm bringing this up is that I did say that you're seeing a lot of people edit themselves, right? Content creators. Because of things that are happening on social media platforms. And so I get to talk about other things on Great Awakener. I remember Uranus, right? Freeing yourself. Uranus is freedom. Uranus is our modern ruler. And so, yes, I do talk about the economy and AI and geopolitical events and geophysical events, all of that. But there's change happening in the world. And I've been saying that in my live streams for a long time. When we get to this point, you're going to see some big change. But in your lives too. Again, this week is a reset for you. Because in just these 3-4 days, we have yods. We have kites. We have air trines. We have the whole shebang. And that's what I'm saying. You can't even fit all of it on the whiteboard. That's a lot of aspects and complex aspects. But what I want you to take away, Aquarius, is the fact that every planet is either sitting on 28, 29, 0 degrees or passing through. And again, it's not going to be easy for the inner planets to pass through because the outer planets they're just like, nope. Right? So we do have a kite formation this week that involves Mercury, Uranus, and Pluto, as well as Neptune at the apex. And so Neptune for you is like a beacon sending you signals to use your imagination, be creative in certain situations and conversations and emails and texts, DMs, all of that. Tap into your spiritual warrior. Okay? Because again, Neptune is with Saturn. And Saturn, believe it or not, is still helping you turn your dreams into reality. Yeah, that's what he does with Neptune. But it's just this week, you're going to have to do it his way. And never forget, you create your reality. This is all part of your spiritual journey. And these aspects that are happening, they allow you to make the changes you need to make, but they also allow you to make the changes you haven't made yet. That's what the retrogrades are for. And remember, everything is energy. Everything that you put out there, okay, you receive back in kind. So always vibrate at that high frequency of love and compassion and gratitude. Spread that in the world. You're at the high frequency. This is going to be a piece of cake. You're going to be king of the hill, queen of the hill, of the mosh pit. What was it called when they carried people? Floaters. Anyway, the good news is that we have that grand air trine. Yeah, you're involved in that. That's why this is going to be a big week for you, because your two rulers are so active. Now, this grand air trine, you got Mercury in Libra, trining Uranus and Gemini, Pluto in your sign, Uranus trining Pluto in your sign. All at that 1 degree point. So there's our pyramid. 1 degree, new beginnings. You're going to feel that days before, days after. And it is like a life raft. Floaties. It's all air, right? All air signs. So these are like the nature of Jupiter. They work in your favor. They're good for you. They help you. They're very supportive. And so, yeah, Mercury here in Libra in your 9th, that's really great. Okay. And then Pluto in your sign, that's really great. That's very empowering. You got Uranus and Gemini in your 5th. That brings that element of fun, a lot of creative energy there. It's very likely that you could get good news. You could make a big announcement. You could write a compelling letter, cover letter for a job, or, to your town hall, whatever it is. You got power. You got Pluto in your sign, okay? Pluto's highly activated. And with that said, 2 things. A, Mars is going to move into Scorpio next week. So Pluto natively rules your 10th house of career. And then you've got Mars and Scorpio in your 10th house of career, right? So a lot of focus and attention on career very, very, very soon. You already are. You already are, but a lot more very soon. The other thing is Pluto is ruler of the underworld. So what's happening here, because Pluto's in your sign, you're going to go through a moment this week where you're going to ask yourself, well, what's underneath the surface? What has to come out? What needs to be revealed? What am I holding back? What is the transformation I seek? Remember, Pluto's out of bounds. So you may, when I talk about breakthroughs and breaking things down to have your breakthrough and a tangle of aspects that are happening within these 3 days, yeah, you may have your tower moment. That's Pluto and Mars, which they're going to tango next week, but that's Phoenix rising from the ashes. Burn it down, build it up, right? You spending 4 hours trying to bake a cake. Maybe you should make a salad instead, right? That's all I'm saying. So here's the thing. Mercury is intellect, the mind, clever. Yeah, that's great. That's good. You got that, okay? As part of this air trine. And it's all air. Communication, mind, thinking, right? So this is a great time to be social, to network, to communicate. Libra, remember, is peace. Mercury's here in Libra. So making peace. Forgive and forget. But there is something here that is just, again, it's like you are going to have it's almost like you're going to have a spiritual awakening this week as well. Okay. Now, Uranus trine Pluto in your sign, part of that prism portal. Remember, that's a core aspect driving you into 2026. It's years long. But this week, that is a tight orb. That's a very tight orb. You are really going to feel it. And that's all about breakthrough. Remember, Uranus is in Gemini, but Uranus is your ruler. Yep. Pluto is all about transformation. So keep that in mind. All right. It's all about innovation too, and thinking outside the box and having your breakthroughs. You're going to be good. Just remember, at this point, something has to go. The outer planets will not let you move forward until you release things. All right. As part of your transformation. The moon, by the way, is going to be in Leo. I love that. Trining Ceres in Aries. It looks like there may be some really great stuff here with Juno, by the way, in Scorpio, sextiling the Sun in Virgo as well. So we'll talk about that in the second spread, okay? But there's some great stuff happening for you. So even through all of everything, oppositions and squares, all of that, you got this. You got this, Aquarius. We're a team. Friday, September 19th, you have Venus in Virgo. Okay, so Venus, love, relationships, money, creativity, beauty, all of that. What makes your heart sing, right? You are going to scrutinize all of it now with a magnifying glass. That's what Venus in Virgo is. Virgo is all about the details. It can be nitpicky, especially the health of your relationships or money matters or work. All right? Colleagues, employees, contractors, bosses, but also money and relationships, the biggest theme for you. Remember, Virgo rules your 8th house. That's also part of your transformation. So you have a lot of money stuff this week. And remember that mosh pit of aspects that are happening in just these 3 days? Oh, that's still happening. So keep that in mind. And we do have a yod. We call it a finger of God. I talk about the Great Awakener, but it's powerful. Friday's going to be powerful. But here's the thing. This is why it's going to be a big day for you. On that Friday, are we still on Thursday? We're on Friday. We will have the Sun, Moon, Venus, and the South Node all in Virgo. So that's a big deal because, again, that rules your 8th house, you and only you, Aquarius. And a lot of planets are having staring contests with them. They're not seeing they're seeing eye to eye, but they're not, okay, maybe not staring contests. It's like a West Side Storying. They're getting in that mode. So, two things. A, this is going to be a big weekend for you because you see, again, the Sun and Moon is already in Virgo at this point, building up to that eclipse. Yep. Secondly, this is your 8th house. That can be really deep. It can be really intense. Thirdly, there is a thirdly. South Node in Virgo, I've talked about this. That can bring up those lower expressions of being self-critical, hard on yourself, taking blame, things like that, right? You don't want to do that. You want to channel this energy into Virgo's higher expressions of self-care and service to others, okay? Because everyone's going to be experiencing this type of week. And it is, everyone's on a karmic journey. And literally, it's the karmic node of fate, right? So, as I always say, just vibrate at the high frequency. Everything that you do, do it for the greater good, okay? Be proactive too. This is your time to make that transformation you need to make right before the new moon. Solar eclipse, that will be like a rocket ship, okay? And the moon is actually traveling with Venus. They're basically hand in hand together into Virgo. Therefore, they're going to be conjuncting in Virgo, 0 degrees. We'll talk about it in the second spread. Saturday, September 20th, you have Venus in Virgo squaring Uranus and Gemini. So this is interesting for you. Venus in Virgo and Uranus in Gemini. Uranus is surprises and the unexpected. Yep. And it can be a little chaotic as well and disruptive. It's a square. It's a little bit challenging. So, love, money, relationships. Maybe you could be getting unexpected messages. It could be you. There could be unexpected moments in relationships. Family, children, Uranus and Gemini being your 5th house. Things that bring you pleasure and joy. So the other thing, you've got Uranus and Gemini in your 5th house, which is also procreation. You have and creative projects. You have Venus and Virgo in your 8th house, which is, remember, deepening relationships. And that can be business if you're not here for love, as well as wealth building. Venus represents both relationships and love. And you have Uranus and Gemini in your 5th house. which is, there's a sense of like entrepreneur energy there too. So the thing is, these two houses are the two houses in the zodiac wheel that also rule intimacy and romance and sex. So just let you know, there may be some surprising moments. Just letting you know. But remember, you got that air trine in Mercury in Libra. That's helping all the air signs here. Yeah, really great. There's floaties. Uranus and Gemini. Always remember, wants you to shake things up anyway. Shake out of old routines, old structures, old habits, old patterns. That's South Node in Virgo too. Free your mind, expanding your consciousness. That's what Uranus wants. I did hit my nose on the mic. Yeah, I did. And be willing to take risks and be curious and have your breakthrough. Because at this point, Aquarius, the reason why I'm being so serious about this is because you will have the Sun in Virgo opposite Saturn in Pisces. And that's nearly exact right now. Remember, that's baked into the eclipse. And again, the two money houses in the zodiac wheel, these planets in those two houses are not seeing eye to eye. So this is going to be a big weekend where you may have to make some big decisions, or you just need to strategize. All right. But also, to be honest, you play your cards right, you could have big windfalls. So again, it's really the energy you put out there and how you respond, how you take a lot of these aspects on. And you really just want to ask yourself, what do I have to surrender before the eclipse takes me on this brand new path? All right. And yeah, so let's get started, Aquarius. And I want to thank you all for thank you so much, by the way. Let's get started. See what's going on for you. For September 15th to the 22nd, I was going to say thank you so much for all your comments. You bring me to points of like, I get really emotional. Yeah, I'm in a bath. But I will make a live stream eventually on what exactly has been happening with my health, and then also with Ruby's and her. We just actually got back from the stem cell thing. So anyway, thank you. Okay, so thank you for your patience and kindness. And yes, I'm doing this really late at night, and I can barely. The light is so bright. Aquarius, Team Aquarius, let's see what's going on for you for this week. All right. September 15th to the 22nd, Aquarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising. All right, so Aquarius, how are y'all doing? It's been a month. Eclipse season is here. You're going through some big transformation, really big transformation. Okay, a lot. Your two rulers are so active; they're retrograde. But also, you've got this new moon coming up, solar eclipse, and it's actually really great. You just have to play by Saturn's rules. That's all. Okay? And you will love Mars and Scorpio. I do a traditional cultic cross spread, offers the best overview, and especially for a weekly reading, if we need to pull clarifiers, you know that we will. And you know I love you. All right, Team Aquarius. Let's see. Okay. Yeah, this is just like what, like, if you are a cross watcher, then a lot of the same cards have been coming out and everyone signs. Anyway, let's get started. You have the Six of Pentacles. Great. I love it. That's amazing. So roll with that energy. That is you taking inspired action in service to others. You can see we call him the young Hierophant. Okay. He is very supportive. He's supporting others. He's very philanthropic. He knows the balance between giving and receiving. So that's something that you may be doing because of the lessons that you've learned. Is maybe one of Saturn's lessons for you. Am I giving and getting nothing at all? Or am I waiting to receive and not giving? You've got to have that balance. Okay. Don't let anyone take any of your energy. You want to have that balance. And remember, that's a big lesson for you. Money matters. Yeah.
It seems like there's so much harmony here. And this is one of my favorite cards. A lot of generosity, spirit. Remember, that takes inspired action. What takes inspired action, what creates inspired action is care. You have to care, right? And what takes care? Self-love. It all starts with self-love. Now, you also have the Six of Swords. This is your card, actually attributed to Mercury and Aquarius. And FYI, if you don't know, and maybe a lot of y'all don't know, um, it's why I called this channel the Tarot Ship. I don't know. It was inspired by the Six of Swords because it's moving forward. And it's like, hey, here's the thing. Things may have happened. I've accepted it. I'm not holding on to the past anymore. You can even see here. I'm going to show you something. Where my finger's at. You see the turbulent water? Yeah. Chaotic. But look, they're moving forward. And there's comfort. You see the ferryman with a family. There's security. The swords are in front of the boat. There's protection. And so it is saying like, yeah. Things may have happened, but I can't stay stuck in the past. I'm going to move forward. Smooth sailing from this moment forward. Learning my lessons. All right. Now, King of Swords. You, again, Aquarius card. There's your Saturn moment. There's your authority. There is going to be not seeing eye to eye with someone. It could be a boss, father figure. Just letting you know, all right? Swords are communication as well. So there may be someone that just might be in the way. But you've got to, again, it's all about compromise and diplomacy. All right? And with eclipse season and with this tangle and all of that this week, really, 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 if you need to wait things out, wait things out. Okay? Trust your intuition. Because even with eclipse season, remember, you never want to force anything. It's, what did I say? Water flows, right? Go with the flow with a go. Four of Swords and your crown. Yeah. There's a lot on your mind. There's been a lot going on. That's great. That brings a little bit of relief. Yeah. And so this week, take that time. All right. I love the fact that you do have, even though Mars and Mercury both don't do well in Libra, they're still there. They're still working for you. And Libra, again, rules your 9th house, and that's very spiritual. So really trusting your intuition, taking that break, knowing that, like, you know, maybe you need some time out. Maybe you need to, like, collect your thoughts. What a great week to do it, okay? Not, like, rushing into things, not being reactive, but being responsive, okay? Being responsive in conversations, communication, but it seems like the only thing is, like, that King of Swords, but the moon here too, that could be the only thing that's really driving things to the surface, bringing things up here. But again, just take that time. There's no rush. The moon and the root of your spread. So interestingly, it does feel like this may be like a emotional week for you. All right. Be in touch with your emotions. And that's going to solve a lot of what's happening this week, because that's a lot of sword heavy energy, right? So be in touch with your emotions, your intuition. No, it's all part of the process. Like I said, your evolution. You're that crayfish. You got to go see your buds in the sea. You got to pass the dog and the wolf. That represent evolution. All right. Be guided by the moonlight instead of being afraid of it. Okay. Those two columns there. What I say, some things you got to break down to have your breakthrough. There are things in the way, all right? And whether that is coming to terms with something or having a conversation that you really need to have that you've been avoiding, whether it's work or family or love. Yeah, that's Seven of Pentacles. Very interesting. Very interesting. there may be, with the Seven of Pentacles in your future, some change. But when I say that, change that you have to make a decision on, okay? This is saying things are, you're moving forward, taking time out. There may be someone that you have to work with this week, an authority figure, someone that has a sharp tongue, someone that may be a little Cruello, yeah, that King of Swords there. Some of that could also be like, like manipulative, all right, but mentally, like he's letting you know he's a better chess player, that kind of energy. Hey, don't let anyone take your energy. Don't let anyone get your goat. You're on a spiritual journey. Seven of Pentacles in your future. Very interesting when you have that Six of Swords bridging the Six of Pentacles and the Seven of Pentacles. So again, money matters, big thing this week, okay? You got to ask yourself, what's next? He's looking back at the past, all right? You got to, this is in your future, the Seven of Pentacles. It's all about moving forward. There's going to be some home stuff, home and family, by the way. A lot of that's going to be coming up in November, December, January, February. A lot of y'all, like I said, maybe thinking about moving again. But yeah, there may be something here with home and family. But again, this is more money, finances, investments. What have you invested in? Are you looking to invest your time and energy into something else? Do you feel like you haven't been rewarded? Like you have, like it's this, like you're maybe you have a moment this week. You're like, is this it? Like the job that I'm in, the profession that I'm in, or even it's Pentacles, your physical reality too. So it could be like a relationship. Does this relationship, do I feel wealth in this relationship, in this business partnership, whatever it is? Just take that pause. You're going to have to make some decision here. All right. Let's get to your stuff. I don't you know, I got you. I'm going to clarify something. I want to see what's here first. Aquarius, if you like this reading, it'd be great if you like, subscribe, leave comments. Tell me what's going on. We got to talk. I want to do a live stream with just the Aquarians. Let's do that. Can we do that? We need to really talk. There's been a lot happening. Okay. If you like the, I said my line. It's late. Let's get to your stuff. All right. Oh. That was a little anticlimactic, but you got the Three of Cups. What? Amazing. Okay. So, honestly, here's the thing. This is fine. Okay. The only major card you got is the moon right here, right? In your main spread. And just, again, let things come to the surface. Let the moon illuminate. Don't be afraid to go deep. That Three of Cups, really nice. Yeah. Oh, that was in my pocket. Three of Cups, really nice. It's a card of celebration, but it's more about a celebration of something ending, something new beginning. Look forward to that. Put yourself on that timeline, okay? And others involved. At the core of this card is bonding. Bonding raises your oxytocin levels. Bonding is, here's the thing. There's definitely going to be something that you're going to look forward to once, you make that decision and make some change. You don't have to make change, by the way. You have to change something within you. And that's going to change a lot in your world. Yeah. So you don't have to you got that Five of Swords though. So you have a very interesting spread. The Five of Swords in your external factors area with the King of Swords in your challenge area. I mean, there's going to be some conversations. There's got maybe even like mind games, but there may be someone that's poking the bear and you're the bear. Okay. You can't let someone take your energy. Okay. Work with that Six of Swords in the heart of your spread, moving forward. Yeah. Moving forward. Okay. There are some battles that you don't need to fight. He's going to want to All right. So just keep that in mind. And with that said, there actually may be the end of some friendships, end of some relationships, end of some. You get where I'm going with this, right? You do have that Wheel of Fortune, and it's really amazing. You have to believe that there's something waiting for you with that new moon solar eclipse in Virgo. All right? This is a fated event, the Wheel of Fortune. There's something here that's very prosperous and auspicious. And I mean, it is ruled by Jupiter. It is a 10 as well. 1 0 equals this new beginning. So a lot of y'all are seeking that. This card has a lot to do with fate and karma, even luck to a degree, with Jupiter being involved. But there's a difference between like hope and belief. And so you have to believe that that all exists. And when you believe, you got that King of Pentacles in your final outcome. And the King of Pentacles, he's rich. He's a rich. Yeah? Listen, when I say money matters is going to be a thing for you, it will be. But whatever you're going through here, as long as you keep moving forward, there's your destination. And when I say he's rich, but he's also very pragmatic. He's very grounded. He's very, he takes care of his own. He's also on top of his wealth. Literally his hand over the pentacle, right? He owns his wealth. This is confidence. This is saying, look at what I made. And that's what you're going through right now. Okay? This new moon solar eclipse in Virgo in your 8th house of wealth building and investments and all that. Everything I mentioned earlier. There you go. There you go. So it does feel like a little bit of a journey for you. But again, just be true to you. Be your authentic self. You're going to be fine. There may be some, villains from 80s movies, collar popped up. They may be trying to, don't let them. I was going to clarify something. Well, how much time we got? No. Okay. Well, okay, sure. Well, I wanted to see that. I wanted to see the 7 of Pentacles. I was like, no. Look at that. Look at that. Come on. Orange, you're glad. You got the pair. I said money is a big thing for you this week. Not even this week. I mean, when you have that new moon solar eclipse, that's 6 months. That lands you into February and March 2026, right at your birthday season, after your birthday season, where we have the new moon solar eclipse in Aquarius, February 17th. You got money matters for 6 months. That's a lot of wealth you're building with that in your future. So again, you got to decide. All right. And again, take your time. Go at your own pace. Remember, it's eclipse season. You don't want to, but you're going to see things unfold. It's more about putting your energy out there. Okay. You got the king and the queen. That's amazing. You got the pair, the richest queen. And there is a lot of associations with the magician here, with the Queen of Pentacles. So it really is like, again, that self-belief. There's magic waiting for you on the other side. You can have whatever you want, as above, so below. So Aquarius, next week, it's a big week. Seriously, we've got, I know, I gotta turn on this. I'm on this system again where I'm filming. It's like a whole thing. It's a whole thing. But it's that audio issue that's been happening, and I can't even log into. Anyway, Aquarius, I got Uranus on my ascendant. So anyway, Aquarius, next week, we have the equinox, we have the eclipse, we have the Libra season, we have Mars moving to Scorpio. Again, that kind of changes the game for you. That's so much energy and career and fame. But also all this Piscean energy in your second house of income. So you got new moon solar eclipse in your 8th house of wealth building. You look at the direction you're going. Anyway, and then the second spread, yes, we're going to pull more cards. We're going to see if any cards overlap here. Those are, but that's when you're okay, the universe is really telling you something when you get the same card from 2 different decks. Also, It's the other half. Like, we just did the planets. Now we're doing the asteroids, planetoids, the nations, all of that. Tier 3 members, you know where to find the link. Anyone's welcome to join. Really good and legendary members. Aquarius, y'all are amazing. Oh my gosh. I always go over with y'all, but I can't. Okay. Y'all are amazing, Aquarius. Next, if you like this reading, it would be great if you like, subscribe, leave comments. And again, I'm sorry. It's like big flashing light. I'm working with like 3 different gadgets here. I got a lot going on, but at least we're good. All right, Aquarius, thanks so much. I will see you next week. All right, bye-bye.